Greg's muted? Oh, yeah. I think maybe only he can. Oh, you have to unmute yourself. Bam, we're live. Good morning.
There we go.
Heidi, good morning. Eric, good morning. I love Wednesdays, the Sevon's podcast. Oh, good. I know what that means. You love Greg. That's good. I'll interpret that. 7 minutes of burpees. No, thank you.
Hard pass.
Augusta Link, go Reg. That's one way to do it. Look, you've already got 50 burpees down since you've been waiting for the show to start. Crazy. Judy Reed, happy Wednesday. Hi. Sitting in my living room the other day. Yeah. It's late. It's like 10:30. And I turn on the TV and I turn on YouTube. And there's a video of the Pentagon getting hit with the plane in 2000. That was 2001? September 2001? And I start tripping all of a sudden again that how can there be so there was a countdown. So it was this like documentary talking about the plane hitting the side, right? And it shows all the people rushing out of the building, and it shows the people running down to the bottom of the Pentagon to like adjust the water and all this shit that's going on. But there was a countdown. I didn't know that. It's like 17 minutes till impact. 16 minutes till impact. And it's like going over loudspeakers, right? And all these people are running, and the cops are like, stay 500 yards from the building, and all these dudes dressed. And I'm just tripping. How could there not be? And there's no footage of the fucking plane hitting the building. It's absolutely bizarre, isn't it? We got Rodney King getting beaten in the street.
I don't know that there is or isn't.
I searched pretty good. I searched pretty good. I kept searching around. All they show is impact, but you never see it's the plane. It's so fucking weird. It's so bizarre to me that you've never seen the footage, right?
No, I feel like I had, but it's not the kind of thing I'd watch over and over, you know?
Right.
It looks like it. I found a video, and it looks like it like skips like a rock off the ground in front of it. And then,
can I see it?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just like, how come there's no video of this building? There were eyewitness. There were definitely eyewitnesses who saw it. You would just think that you would see the whole thing because the countdown was there. There were thousands and thousands of people there, like to witness it.
Right there, it comes into frame.
Oh, that's okay. That's supposed to be it. Okay, and that's the only angle, huh?
Seems like it. Oh. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Greg, bear with me a second. Let's say the whole thing was some sort of like operation outside of just bin Laden being mad at the United States. They still had to like convince some dudes to fly the planes into the building, right?
Yeah, they went to Embry-Riddle, majored in landing or some fucking thing.
Right. Okay. So even if it
takeoffs, it was takeoffs, and then dropped out.
Even if it was like some sort of
one of the guys was at the Embry-Riddle near me in Prescott. Had links to all of the hijackers.
So
that's
even
the big school, isn't it?
Even if it was some intention, let's say, like one of the theories I heard is that there was gold at the bottom of the World Trade Center, and they used this as an excuse to get all the gold out, $1 trillion worth of gold or whatever. Even if they did that, they still had to it had to be such a plan that it involved brainwashing all these dudes so that they would be willing to yell Allah Akbar as they fucking flew a plane full of people into the building. Like, there's no one questioning that, right?
I mean, there were people that texted and called their loved ones.
Yeah, from the plane, right?
Yeah.
For my birthday, I started reading Lost in Math. Oh. I made it through about half that book. For my birthday, I started reading Lost in Math per an old broken science lecture by Greg. Love the book. Recommendations.
What makes that book particularly fun is that is brilliant as Fassbender is. She doesn't seem to be aware, or maybe is afraid to delve into the mechanism behind the failures. I mean, I get that I get that an over-reliance on the beauty of mathematics is a manifestation. This loss of empiricism is a manifestation of the problem. But I think that the roots of it come directly to what it is that we're talking about, Emily and I and Matt Briggs and the Broken Science crew. And that is that predictive strength of model has been replaced for validation with a consensus in a mildly inductive inference system that looks like null hypothesis testing, which is in the entirety of it's a fraud, is the truth of it.
How about
intellectual academic fraud with impact that will someday be similar maybe to the impact of academic collectivism as serious thought, Marxism in particular. It's dealt ruin to the minds of an entire generation.
Yeah, that's the part that's wild, right?
Yeah,
it's not like when what's the guy's name? The gay Jewish scientist who Otto. It's not like Otto Warburg where he's like, hey, look for cancer. The cause of root of cancer is over here, and then we spent the last 60 years, or 100 years looking over here. It's way worse than that. It's not just that we're looking in the wrong place. It's that we're not even looking. We've completely confused ourselves. Completely lost our way.
Yeah. Yep. Our universities have led us in a direction that you would have to call the opposite of knowledge, whatever the fuck that is, ignorance.
Oh God.
But that's what's happened. It's like the goddamn thing's in reverse. So you go off to college, and 4 years later, you come away less worldly, less knowledgeable, with fewer skills. And you have this burden of this Marxist, broken bullshit science university load that's tantamount to a vow of poverty and a life of crime if you're going to be some kind of scientist. It's weird. How significant is it that both Harvard and Stanford lost their heads to crazy unethical behavior in just the past, year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah, insane. I think they kind of had, but the incidents happened in the same month, right?
I don't know.
It was fraud on both counts, right?
Yep. Academic dishonesty of the most egregious sort.
I saw something really dark. So I looked up a couple articles about it. Anti-abortion, this is from 2022. Anti-abortion group claims it took 115 fetuses from a medical waste truck. So there's an energy plant. I think it's in Pittsburgh. And these people, the energy plant was accused of burning babies to create energy, right? It was just a plant where they burn shit, right? And they were taking aborted babies there and burning them as just because they're looking for anything to burn. Do you remember that documentary we watched at your house, the Michael Moore documentary that only lasted on YouTube for like a day? And basically it was about clean energy plants. And the documentary was exposing that the United States was harvesting trees from the Amazon and bringing them up here and burning them, claiming it was clean energy. Do you remember that? And it wasn't just a few trees. It was shitloads of them.
Yeah.
And then YouTube pulled that down. You remember that?
That sounds familiar.
So basically, this article starts off, this is in 2022, an anti-abortion group that is facing previous federal charges. Like, I don't know why that's important.
I think I was studying Russian collusion during this. I was off on another.
But you kindly vaguely remember this?
Yeah, I do. I remember that. I remember watching the show with you.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah. An anti-abortion group that is facing previous federal charges said it took 115 fetuses from a medical waste company and buried 110 of them at an undisclosed location. Washington, D.C. police, which originally said it found 5 fetuses in one of the group members' apartments, is continuing to investigate the case. So the way the NPR reports this is they put this twist on it that the people who took the babies from the truck that was in front of the medical or the burning facility, this energy plant, is that they're under investigation, right? And that and they allude to the fact that it's like bullshit, that these guys already have federal charges, they're not trustworthy, and somehow they ended up with 115 babies. And then it finishes. Several members of the anti-abortion group face federal charges. So it opens with that and closes with that. And then there's nothing else on NPR ever again about the incident. But so I keep Googling and I end up over here in a 2023 article, and they were fucking fined 1.7 million. Oh, sorry. Let me pull this up. So then I keep looking for the story. And it's a Baltimore company has been a Baltimore company has been fined $1.7 million after pleading guilty to more than 40 environmental violations concerning the improper disposal of medical waste. And I guess there's something called red bags. And red bags are where you put like organs and shit in them, like when you're
Biohazard bags.
Oh yeah, that biohazard bags. Thank you.
Any human waste.
Yeah. And they were this company in fucking Pittsburgh was taking just anything and everything, including aborted babies, and just burning them and off gassing them into the city of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean,
it's fucking wild.
Yeah, but you think they're inspecting this shit?
No. You mean the people at the plant?
Yeah.
No, it's a bunch of dudes just standing there. The truck pulls up and they just start loading shit into the incinerator and hope some turbine somewhere spins.
I think it would be a rare thing that you and I would pop open one of the bags.
Well, if me and you worked there, we would do it.
You have to plan and think of things like, well, what the fuck have we worked there? I mean, it's kind of a worst case scenario thing. You have to do it.
Have you heard of that show called Body Brokers?
No.
Well, they I guess stealing human like bodies after they're dead is far easier than you could imagine. And so people will just like have medical grade refrigerators at their house or like at a warehouse or something, and they'll just store bodies there. And then they sell them to universities or like.
How do they get the bodies, Caleb? How do they get the bodies?
So I guess when you die, you can say like whether or not you want to donate your body to science.
You save yourself your family the cremation costs or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And so you say, hey, I don't want to, or just give my body off to somebody. And then the morgue has like contacts with somebody who like, hey, I need this body I need a head to give to my anatomy class so that I can dissect it and show the class what's up with the body. And so then they don't ask questions. They're like, yeah, I just want to I just need a head. I need a full body. And they did give it away. And so there's people out there who just do that as like a side business. It's crazy.
Did you see it like on History Channel or something? Is it like a series?
It's a podcast, I think, called Body Brokers. Let me see.
Caleb.
I know.
I had a really long one time.
Caleb, you're being judged really hard in the comments. I apologize. Nothing negative yet, but you are being judged.
Yeah, change the channel.
Yeah. It's like,
wow.
It's crazy, dude. And I don't know exactly how they got this guy in jail, but he was doing something improperly, and they had like a bunch of bodies stacked up. Oh, he was like frauding. He was defrauding people out of their money. He was like,
I remember that story now.
Yeah,
and there was a well-known female professor of some sort involved.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Turned out they made furniture out of it or something. No,
that's right. Yeah.
They stretched a foreskin over a table real tight.
Yeah.
Over a pool table. Hey, Greg.
So what about the Iranians and the Chinese fucking with our water supply?
I saw that this morning.
Yeah. That's for me.
Hey, look at you have the bat signal behind you.
Yeah. I got that on good source.
I mean, it says it's from the White House.
Yeah, I could do that too, I think.
Oh, just make that up. I sent you the document that supposedly came from the White House. You don't think this is real?
I sent it to you.
But you don't think it's real that it came from the White House?
No, I do. I like I said, I got that from pretty good source from someone at DOJ.
Yeah, sorry. I know you sent it to me. Sorry, I was talking to Caleb.
Oh,
Disabling basically the two recent and ongoing threats illustrate the risk that cyber attacks pose to the nation's water system. Threat actors affiliated with the Iranian government, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, have carried out malicious cyber attacks against the United States critical infrastructure entities, including drinking water systems. In these attacks, the IRGC affiliated cyber attack targeted and disabled a common type of operational technology used at water facility where the facility has neglected to change default manufacturer passwords. That's scary. By the way, so these plants they're talking about are the ones that turn our poop back into drinking water?
I'm not sure.
Okay. The People's Republic of China is also being looked at. State-sponsored cyber group known as the Volt Typhoon has compromised information technology of multiple critical infrastructure systems, including drinking water in the United States and its territories. Volt Typhoon's choice of targets and pattern of behavior are not consistent with traditional cyber espionage. Federal departments and agencies assesses with high confidence that Volt Typhoon actors are pre-positioning themselves via the southern border to disrupt critical infrastructure operations in the event of geopolitical tensions and or military conflict.
Yeah, it looks like right here, drinking water and wastewater systems are an attractive target for cyber attacks.
Because they are lifeline of critical infrastructure sector. Water's critical lifeline.
No shit. Never would have guessed.
In that spirit of partnership, we ask for your assistance in addressing the pervasive and challenging risk of cyber attacks on drinking water systems. God, it's as simple as fucking getting a password.
They used the default password from the that the equipment came with from the manufacturer.
So like my router comes with a default password and then you're supposed to go in and change it?
Right.
I love boobies 1 2 3.
Damn. That sounds bad. Hey, they got enough people here now to do it. I watched my Orcus say that just at one border in particular, because of the catch and release policy, 900 times more Chinese nationals came in up to this point in 2024 at one entry point than the previous year, 900 times. And so the thing is let's say 20 came in before in the previous year. I don't know what the number was, right? But even if it was 1, it's now 900. That's bad, right?
Yeah, I mean, what would you send over?
Dudes who my most talented spies. Throat slitters?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Plane taker offers?
Saboteurs, right? If there were an escalated conflict with any of our adversaries right now, would the current administration and would the media portray it, reveal it, cover it? Would it make the news?
No.
I don't think so either.
That's a really good point. I never even thought of it. They would hide it in order to defend their position that their choices up to this point are good.
Right.
Bad for the brand.
It's like being embarrassed. They'd be embarrassed.
Yes. And I think for that reason that China and Iran would be unlikely to escalate anything right now, because I think that would be seen as proving Biden's weakness, because about which he would do nothing. We know that already. They do too. But maybe this is the only opportunity to act. China's got to be bumming about Trump.
Oh, that he could possibly get elected. Oh, that he could possibly get elected.
Uh-huh.
If you're a bounty hunter, you're stoked. Like if you're in the chain link fence business and the gathering of bad guy business, you're stoked.
I think he to them seems to be the quintessential American half-witted brute.
That's how Trump comes across to them.
He's twice their size. Putin and Xi Jinping are probably weigh about as much as one of that fat fuck's thighs.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. And he's got more and better nukes and more and better weapons. And he's dumb and oafish. And he has the capacity to, in a fit of pique, crush their shit. That moron actually got on the phone with Putin and told him if we went to war, he'd bomb those round, shiny things. He didn't even know what the fuck they were called. Putin told him those are churches, Mr. President.
He did say that, those round, shiny things?
Yeah, he bombed first. And Putin told him those are churches. He said, whatever. That's what he did.
Great.
This is a guy who's drawn faces on fucking president during the State of the Union address, Sevy. He's just like you, man.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Hey,
and you know what's so good about that is that his adversaries, that scares the shit out of him. They don't know what the fuck he's gonna do, and they do, or maybe they do know. But and he'd be the wrong guy to embarrass. He'd strike out for sure. You embarrass him, he's gonna fuck you up because he's that kind of guy. He'd take it personally. You get that?
yeah.
And it would rain missiles with extraordinary accuracy. And the bad guys know it. So, of course, Putin's like, I think things would be more stable with Biden in his presidency. How does he say that and not chuckle? I'll tell you how. He's terrified of Trump.
Scared of the orange man.
Yeah. For much for the same reasons we all are. The only thing scarier than Trump is Biden. Just say it again. In fact, there's only one candidate worse than Trump, and that's Biden.
Significantly worse.
Yes, measurably, demonstrably, visibly, obviously, yeah.
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 Like, here's some practice. It's dangerous to go to the ATM under Biden. Under Trump, it's not. I mean, I know that's a pretty broad statement, but cops are villains under Biden. Cops are not villains under Trump. Firefighters get shot doing their job, putting out fires under Biden. They don't under Trump.
That dim-witted, oversized caricature of Americans is closer to my ideal than some collectivist lefty.
Well, here's the thing. You don't perceive Trump as having a mental illness, right? You don't see him as crazy.
No, I'm not going to do offer up some code from the DMS, whatever. You mean?
As opposed to people on the left, you clearly do. Like you saw Don Lemon interview.
You tell me if it's mental illness. I think he's a pathological liar. I think he's got an ego so far out that reaches so far beyond his intellectual and even his success as a businessman has laughable merits to it.
Sure.
So, is he mentally ill? I don't see it that way. For instance, Biden's senile, though, and I think I find it implausible to even suspect that he's not corrupted. Implausible to even suspect that he's not corrupted. Because I know they've been giving him money, and I know they don't give it for nothing. You see how that works?
Right.
About which he's gone to enormous efforts to conceal the money, the diamonds. Buddy, if you and I were entangled in that somehow, outside of being Biden's, we'd be like Bobolinsky in jail, right? He went to jail, didn't he?
I don't know. Did he? But by mentally ill, I mean, if you hear Elon Musk trying to talk to Don Lemon can't, no words mean anything. The subjects and ideas are all conflated.
That was so good. He got fired 2 hours later.
And then if you go to Don Lemon's Instagram account, they think that he destroyed Elon. There was a point where Elon was talking about how DEI, if you lower the demands to become a doctor, you're going to get worse doctors. And Don Lemon's like, "Do you have any proof of that?" And he said, "No, but I'm fine, basically thinking like this." And then Don Lemon goes, "Yeah, but black people get worse medical care in the hospital." And it's like, hey, it's not even the same subject. You've gone from what the perceived patient problem to lowering the requirements to become a doctor.
He's in true liberal fashion. He's going to deny the obvious and then give us, instead of something that's obvious, his own home-baked fucking theory that sounds like bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it was insanity. It was like, we've all been in arguments with people like that. Unfortunately, loved ones, right? Girlfriends. You're trying to stay on subject about what you're fighting about, and they're just swerving all around.
In homeschooling the kids and looking at how much opportunity there is to enrich a child's life just in the space of fundamentals. And as you do that and you watch, I mean, it's a crazy thing to do. It's like growing corn, to have a kid that's 9 years old and doing algebra, right? You just like, fuck. And to think that tradition is being extinguished. The horrors of that. Remember when I had those shirts that had the book covers on them, Sevi? So like The Catcher in the Rye.
Yes. Yeah. I was with you when we went into that bookstore.
It was crazy, the people that would come up to me and like want to talk because I had the cover of a the Hound of the Baskervilles T-shirt on.
Right.
And people would stop you and talk, have conversation. And it was crazy how many times it came up when people would say, "What's going to happen when people don't read anymore?" And I said, "Oh, I'll tell you, we're going to have things like Trump versus Hillary." That was then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. And so the many manifestations of stupidity it's a kaleidoscope of horrors. And as you turn it, the end and complexity of the fuck ups of shitty thinking, it's unmappable. There will never be a taxonomy of bad ideas. It's like things you'll see out at the end of a kaleidoscope. But instead of colorful patterns, it's just horrors, the depravity of the human spirit. And it follows this, you want some telltales? Turning on your Jews. Look at what happens to civilizations when they turn on their Jews. And I'm not going to sit here and give a history lesson. I see the origins of this. Everyone used to be able to have to diagram sentences. My kids are diagramming sentences. I realized I got fucked because that was taken out of school when I came along. What a stupid fucking move that was. It has all the wisdom of eliminating PE and math.
And it doesn't take a rocket scientist. You could say, hey, look at the Middle East. You have 12 million of these people and then surrounded by hundreds of other millions of people, and you can see two groups and study them. Do you want the group where the women walk around free and don't have to worry about being raped and their faces aren't covered and people aren't being stoned to death and there's a clean water supply and there's hospitals and there's a stable infrastructure and opportunity for everyone to grow and become rich, as opposed to the hundreds of the experiment going on around them with hundreds of millions of people who aren't Jews, and see how that turns out. And anyone with a brain would be like, yeah, okay, I'll live in Israel over fucking the suburbs of Baghdad, right? Why can't people just see that? Why can't they just make a superficial assessment?
They do, because the leadership of these lousy ideas like Hamas, they live in except for the few caught underground right now, but where they're at's nice.
Who's at?
The leadership of Hamas.
Oh, right, the guys hanging out in Qatar with their harems.
It's sweet.
Yeah,
everything's like Brentwood there or something, you know.
I'm just talking about the other 1 billion Muslims around the world living in fucking mud huts, driving on dirt roads.
Find an interpretation of that religion that didn't condone what the whole world sees. I would need a non-clitorectomizing, don't cover the women's heads. Let's pretend whatever's written about women being unholy in the sight of the Lord, let's give that a different interpretation. I'd need a sanitized version of the thing that met my basic standards of decency, and I don't know where that is. I don't know if anyone's offering that or if you can safely.
Do you think it's safe to say that the cultures are the operating systems? Like if you see humans as computers, the cultures are the operating systems?
Look what Schumer did to Israel to boost Biden's support in Michigan.
What did he do?
He called for Netanyahu's removal.
Oh. Hey, is there? Heidi wants to know if there's someone in the room cutting their nails.
Oh, I'm in my house.
Yeah, like right next to you.
A little paperclip thing. You can hear that?
Yeah, barely. It doesn't bother me. But I just liked her. I just liked her assessment. Who is clipping their toenails?
Yeah, that. Hear that? I'll stop.
Ooh, that was a big. No, you can do it. That was a big toenail. That was a thick one.
I should say I was just loading my pistol.
Right. It could sound like. Hey, tell me the Schumer thing again. What happened?
He got up and called from a prepared statement calling for Netanyahu to be replaced.
And even if he doesn't mean it, he's just trying to
ceasefire, whatever. I didn't even listen to it. I know what's up. I know that Michigan's in play, and I know that there's a shit ton of people there that don't share Western values. That's what I'm afflicted with. I have Western values, they used to call it.
Oh God, this guy's such a douche. Part of my core, how Schumer decided to speak out against Netanyahu. In an interview in his native Brooklyn, America's highest-ranking Jewish elected official said he felt obligated to call for a new leadership in Israel. So that's basically just a political move to appease the people who want Israel to stop what they're doing, the routing out the terrorists in the Gaza.
It's the large number of Arabs that live in Michigan. Caleb, where do they live? Was it Dearborn? Where's the hotbed?
Let me look.
This is so part of my core, my soul, my neshama. That must be a Jew word. Mr. Schumer said in an interview using the Hebrew word for soul, I said to myself, this may hurt me politically. This may help me politically. I couldn't look in myself in the mirror if I didn't do it.
Yeah, you're Dearborn. You're right.
I think my mom grew up in Dearborn. No, she grew up in Cleveland. I think I have family in Dearborn or had family there. Oh, look, there's my mom. Well, I don't know if that's my mom. Who knows what's real anymore?
She got a profile picture if it is.
Yeah, she did.
Yep, that's what that was about. Biden was in Michigan at the time that Schumer read that. Some DNC orchestrated stuff.
Arabs represent 3% of the Michigan population. That's a lot, actually. That is a lot. Well, we know Michigan has its problems, right? I mean, Michigan's as fucking far left as you get. The force is strong there in Michigan.
I would guess that it's like most places that the redness or blueness reflects the ratio of urban to rural geography. And so if you got a place with few big cities, it's very conservative. And you got a place that's 90% of the population lives in cities, you get a liberal place.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think people?
Oh, you can't. The closer you get to nature, the harder survival becomes with liberal ideology. Like your chickens croak and shit, you know?
Right. Right.
It was often said by a woman that everyone loved to hate. So I'm not even going to mention her name and give half-wits the hard on. But she said that she didn't think that she knew of a liberal that could keep a 7-Eleven's doors open for a shift or something to that effect. And I loved it. And I know exactly what she meant. And I also believe it to be true.
The people in the city are just...
This is not unrelated to my saying that your liberalism is a vow of poverty.
It's not unrelated.
It's not unrelated.
The city people are reliant on the government significantly more than the country dwellers, right?
Absolutely.
In every single way, they've made government their father.
Yeah, their existence, their survival depends on the order. You know, it was Jim Jordan, our friend Jim Jordan, that observed in New York City during the 9/11 that the street didn't have the carrying capacity of the building. So it's everyone outside. And stop, half of you go back in. You know, you couldn't take the city's population and put it into the open.
Into the landscape couldn't hold the vertical.
Yeah. And imagine this, that there's a good chunk of environmentalism comes from these people that live in this shithole of an environment.
Sorry, excuse me 1 second. Rambler, don't talk to my mom. No one in the chat talk to my mom. Okay. That's good. Take care of that. Oh, look, someone just started a workout in your house or somewhere. I heard that was a clock.
No, that's the door chime.
Oh, I thought Maggie was getting some.
That could be.
Yeah, the city thing is crazy. I was thinking of also. I was with my kids the other day, right? And one of my sons did something. Ari did something, and I go, "Dude, are you drunk?" And he started crying. And I go, "Oh, dude, what's wrong?" He goes, "You think I'm on drugs?" You know, he's 7. I'm like, "No, dude, sorry. It was just a phrase. I'm sorry." But dude, that's the emotional fragility of the people in this. I was like, "Oh, that's city dweller fragility." They have the emotional capacity of a 7-year-old. They get offended and moved by everything that's going on. And then if you look at their bodies in general match that weakness. They have what's the word you taught me years ago? Commensurate. They have a commensurate fragile body to their emotional state.
Sevi, the book, A Pattern Language, I don't know if it was 3 stories or 5, it may be 3, but they just boldly state is a matter of like an architectural maxim, one of 250 or 300 in the book, that you can't have sound mental health living more than 3 floors above the ground.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, wow, all those people are mentally ill. And I'm like, and it was funny because at the time I saw that, I divided the book into kind of 3 chunks. There was like, that's some liberal bullshit there. And the book goes from, I can't speak highly enough about this book, by the way, everyone. it's not just arguably the best book ever written on architecture. I think it's one of the best books ever written ever. And as a book, it has extraordinary architecture. How's that for clever? But it's 250 chapters of about 3 pages, and it goes.
Please
from
go to my Amazon store and purchase this book. Do not go directly to Amazon. I want a little bit of the money. No, I don't have an Amazon store. I'm joking. But you just sold 20 copies of this book.
I got enough to go on vacations just on the kickback I get from Amazon. But like if I like a book, I'll buy 20 of them and give them out to neighbors and friends and anyone that
you gave me that book. I have that book.
So that's one of the in the book, a third of it is like, that's bullshit. Another third, I'm like, interesting. I'm going to think about that. And then there's another third that's or that I'm going to think about it, or wow, that makes sense. And then the third is just kind of stunning in ramification, just crazy thing to think about that you might not ever be able to let go of.
Hey,
walk into rooms different, and it's what made my architect Mark Candelaria. It's what drove him into the biz. So I had to read it, but it's better than architecture. The book is.
Does it give some example, like a why living 3 floors? Is it just a really?
I just certainly locked onto that, and I gave it a kind of maybe a dismissal, and then I keep coming back to it. Like, what if that's true? I can't imagine what the mechanism would be.
I mean, is it some hippie shit like you're not grounded to the earth, or is it just a correlate? Like, hey, there is some pattern in that 92% of the people who live on the 3rd floor or higher are retarded.
Buddy, I get out on that 16 acres overlooking the ocean in Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
And sit there and I just feel something. I don't even know what to call it. That's how I got that Camp David name. The hustle and bustle of everywhere else is the lake's like that too, of course. I doubt I would think that living in the city would have the impact on your mental health about like smoking would on your physical health.
You know what I'm noticing too, and I know this is so cliche to beat a dead horse, but once a week now, I'm seeing a fallen soldier around me who it was their phone that did it to him, and they don't even know. There's a whole generation of people who think like social media and the comments coming in and their interactions on their phone are real. Like they just can't. Like there's people who once a week someone's complaining to me about something that's just completely irrational. It's just this completely abstract thing that doesn't mean anything to them or their life and their real world order, something someone said to them or how they were treated or something that they read from their phone. And it's like truly impacting them. It's like the best thing about being 52 years old that I missed that kind of, it's like people who are dependent on microwaves, right? There's, a lot of people are dependent on microwaves. I'm just glad I missed that part of upbringing that makes the cell phone part of who you are. Like there's just a chunk of people who think it's part of who they are. Yeah.
I was explaining to you yesterday that I've got a list of things that are fantastically wrong. And I know for a fact, and they deal with public health, fitness, nutrition, science and science education. And so when someone has a new thing, did you hear about, I've got a limited tolerance for it because I said, I've got all the evidence I need for the world's fucked up, and I'm not going to have to catch everything now.
Oh, but, yeah. We were talking about that yesterday, I think, on the phone. We were laughing.
You realize that there's a massive tidal wave of stupidity has washed over us all.
Yeah.
You have to be open to any manifestation from that stupidity. It won't be good things. It'll be bad things. And we're going to see it.
I've been with you when you've lost your phone or you didn't have your phone, or I've been trying to get a hold of you for 4 days. I'm like, hey, what's up? And you're like, oh, I don't have my phone. I left it in Idaho. I left it somewhere. And I always think to myself, Jesus Christ, Greg, you could just fucking roll down. You could just go on your computer and someone would bring you a new phone in 3 seconds. I mean, you know, you would do that with a piano. And I'm like, man, this guy's just not attached to his phone. He just like, fuck it. He lost his phone. He don't give a fuck. Me, I'll drive away from my house and forget my phone at home and I won't go back for it. But if I lost my phone or it broke, I'd fucking next day one here. Like I don't have the detachment. But there's other people, if they fucking lost their Instagram account, they would, I mean, you know, if they shut down TikTok, you know, people are going to jump from buildings. That's like true. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I care, like in the sense that they shouldn't shut it down or should shut it down for that. But that's their importance of that.
I think we would be likely to see in a second Biden administration people banned from the internet.
Yeah.
So you going on the net could be a felony.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And a second Biden administration, they take they you know, they want to take Twitter from Elon so bad.
Yeah.
There's this
that was a great chess move on his part.
Buying Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, everyone was kind of I don't think they had their eye on the ball. I don't think everyone was watching the right game.
I don't think anybody thought it would be possible.
Well, like they're like, ha ha ha, it still doesn't make any money. And like, I don't think that's what it was about.
Right.
Did you see? Oh, by the way, are you getting a Roadster?
You know, I paid for one.
Yeah, and someone, I didn't see this part, but I guess in the Don Lemon interview, he asked him about the Roadster, and he said it's close. It's close. He says it does 0 to 60 in 1 second. He said there'll never be another car like this. This will be a one-of-a-kind car. But I remember, I think we were living in. I mean,
I paid for the upgrade, the one that shoots
makes it fly
out its ass or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Damn, this is crazy.
We also sent to forward a little note to Elon that if the Roadster thing didn't pan out, and it was supposed to be ready in 2020, so I think we were like 2016, 17 on that thing, Seb.
Yeah, I just remember. I think we were living in San Diego, and you're like,
I'm getting
one of those
in Rancho Pacifica.
Yeah,
it was yep. So that would have been when the kids were little.
Someone told me the other day, I don't remember who, but basically that Elon has built his own AI, and his AI is better than ChatGPT, and that he's released it on Twitter, and to harvest. That's where it's doing its learning, is strictly in the domain of Twitter, where there's free speech, and that it will increase the valuation of Twitter by $100 billion. I'm sure it'll be worth $144 billion. What?
Grok? That's what that is?
Is that what that one's called? Grok?
I think so.
GROK?
Yeah.
Hey, check out this. Look at mePrism. What the fuck website is that I went to yesterday? mePrism me. Oh, look at no, mePrism, hold on. Or mePrismme.com, is that what it is? Prism. Damn. It's not on this computer. Anyway, there's the maybe it's mePrism. Damn. I don't know, but Prism, PRISM. Anyway, there's this website I went to yesterday, and I was talking with one of the investors of the website, and it's called mePrism. And basically you download it onto your phone. No. mePrism. Anyway, you download it onto your computer, and then you push a button, and it basically shows all the companies that have investigated your background, your name, your phone number, your arrest record, all that shit. Yes, that thing. So I logged into that thing yesterday, and it basically gives they have a phone app too. I haven't got the password for my phone app yet. And you basically go through and you hit this button, and it shows you all the I should bring mine up, but I don't have it on this computer. But basically, maybe I can. What's it called? mePrism?
mePrism.com.
Okay, mePrism, a data privacy app.
Is there going to be some sensitive information you're going to bring up?
That's a great question. Let me see if I can log in and see what happens. Get started. Google. So I don't think so.
Okay.
You're gonna love this, Greg. This is so fucking cool. God, I hope there's nothing sensitive on here. I don't think there is. It has the full spelling of my name. That's it. So basically, you go on here and there's all of these people. Look at cluster maps, call center, been verified, family tree now, findpeoplesearch.com, mylife.com, and it basically finds all of these people and it sends them on your behalf because they're not allowed to collect it if you ask for them not to, and it starts asking them to remove you from all your shit, their shit, right?
Interesting.
Wow. So check this out. So there's a bill now in California to stop this app. There's a bill in California now that makes it so you can't ask a third party, they're trying to pass it through, to remove your shit for you.
You have to do it yourself. They're telling you have to do it yourself.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Like that's such clearly bullshit. Anyway, I'm just
supposed to know like who's got your shit. That I wouldn't even have recognized half of those websites if they weren't brought up.
Yeah, this thing is so cool. I can't wait to get into it more and more. But you put it on your phone too, and it's. I don't know if right now it does because I haven't seen the phone app, but I think it interfaces with Facebook and all the social media apps, and it starts pulling you off of all of those too. So it basically starts making you fucking invisible, except for what you want to present to the world. And I mean, it's a great resource for fucking. If you're a cop, you definitely need this shit, or a politician, or anyone that you're concerned about. I told someone the other day I was doing it. They're like, yeah, you need that for the shit you say on your on your podcast. I was like, yo, easy. Be cool.
That was a threat.
I guess.
The guy that went out with us on the boat the other day as part of my orientation to this thing. And the kid's from El Salvador, right? You know, he's been here a while though, but he passed some bikers on motorcycles and they followed him, and where he got off and surrounded him and explained to him that you don't ever pass us. And he's, I'm so sorry. How was I supposed to know? And he said you're supposed to go up to the guy at the back of the pack and ask him if he can pass.
Where was this, in the United States?
Yeah, in San Diego County.
Was it the what's the Mexican one with the M? It starts with the M.
It was, in fact,
the Mongols.
Mongrels. It was.
What's mongrel mean? Just like dirty something, dirty rat.
A dog of no definable type or breed.
I was driving into Newport Beach. You know that street I'm talking about. I forget the highway, but it's the one that goes right to the ocean. It's 4 lanes in each direction. And it takes you into that downtown area, and there's a pavilions there and a shopping center. And I was pulling in there, and there's stoplights there every block. There's like, I don't know, 10 stoplights in a row within less than a mile. And we were there, and the mongrels came, probably 50 of them, and they just ran every stoplight, and they have the guys stop the traffic, motorcycles pull up ahead and stop the incoming traffic so that the main guys can just go. I guess when you're 50 motorcycles deep, like no one fucks with you, not even the cops.
Shit, I guess. I've seen singular bikers try to pull over other motorcycles that try to stop them or like try to pass them.
Think of how low those guys' IQ would be compared to the ones stealing iPhones.
Are they higher or lower on I'm going to make a little scale here.
I think the iPhone thieves are well, at least I see what's in it for them.
As opposed to the guys just riding their bikes and like making traffic stops to be assholes. Like, what's the point?
In the best of the biker gangs, the name brand ones, there's fewer people that you can count on one hand that are making anything that would look like an orthodontist living, and the rest live in unspeakable poverty with crazy multiple addictions. It's zombie land. You get 3 from the top and it's zombie land, dude. You go from motherfuckers that have suits and ties on, that haven't been on a Harley in 15 years, to just 2 levels down, and it's some tweaky fuck on meth or some fat half-witted beast. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But the stupidity just oozes. And the whole game is you get those half-wits trying to get the guy in the suit. And they'll pass the baton pretty quick too. It's not unlike any kind of terrorist organization, really.
Hey,
I mean, the Chinese understand gangs well, and what they've done to assist the Sinaloa cartel has been just wonderful. It's like
is that a Mexican or Colombian cartel? What's Sinaloa?
It's a Mexican cartel, and it's the one behind the fentanyl trade, and it's the one taking the Chinese precursors and pressing them into pills. And they went to like Harvard Business School with their education from the Chinese in gang activity.
I thought the way the media presents it is that
problem with gangs and fentanyl is dear and close. I mean, you know that the Chinese feel like they owe us unspeakable addiction because of the Opium Wars.
We did that to them.
Let's give a little history on that. They're pissed off. They would rightfully be. So people with a 5,000-year memory have not forgotten that shit. The West stopped the shit out of them when we over them trying to stop opium production.
Dang, that was a long time ago.
Right? Don't I have the story right?
Hong Kong became a British colony through 2 wars, the first and second Opium Wars. The first Opium War broke out in 1839. It's called the Opium War because of one of its major causes. The British were smuggling opium from their Indian colonies into Chinese ports against the wishes of the Chinese government. This was to help pay for the large amounts of Chinese tea that they were importing. By the 1800s, tea was as popular drink with British public. The Opium Wars resulted in 2 treaties, each expanding the size of Britain's Hong Kong territory. So basically, they got their people weak, addicted, and weak. Doesn't say that in there, but I'm just making that conclusion.
Yeah, well, the Chinese were trying to stop the importation, and the British didn't like that, and so there was a war. And so, like, they must feel like they owe us some fentanyl, and the Brits, everyone. No?
Yeah, that's an employee at Taco Bell.
Every employee at Taco Bell.
You can't even believe this shit.
I mean, they're open 24 hours a day, and I don't think they put a limit on how much you can work.
At the Taco Bell in Niles, I'm sitting here waiting for my food, and this guy,
Nah, he's fucked up.
looks like this.
That's Trank, right? When you get over the hunched.
This is horrible. This is ridiculous.
Oh, that was a little dance movie did there.
I think his nervous system just rebooted. No.
That's the Trank position, right? That's the Trank position.
Yeah, it is.
Don't worry, we get to talk.
What's going on with you, man?
All right, man. I've just been working.
No, we're waiting for food, man. You got a whole line. You've been sitting here nodding out at the drink machine, man.
Yeah, I feel that, bro.
Bro, you should probably not be working right now.
I feel that, bro. It's just been a long night.
Nah, man. No.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, no?
Dude, we're waiting for food. We've been sitting here waiting.
Hey, it's the Big Lebowski trying to order at Taco Bell.
Look at that. That's not easy. That's
Crazy.
not easy. You know, if you should fail a field sobriety test for holding a physically impossible position, you know?
Let me. I'm going to give you 3 cities where you think. Do you think that this is happening? In
Philadelphia,
a great guess. Great guess. Oakland.
Baltimore.
Yeah, I was gonna say Baltimore is a great guess. Philly and Baltimore. You're just going for the easy shots, though.
Yeah, naming. Never mind.
It's Oakland. Taco Bell, including restaurant. This is Taco Bell on 35th and Hagenberger. God, what a horrible area. What a
Right near Boz lives there.
not anymore. Not anymore. He moved to Tennessee. This is over by the airport. God, it's so fucking dangerous over there now. What a fucking mess. Hey, look at this. Look at this guy. I love that. Listen to this opening line. Johnny Boy says here.
There is nothing, I think, more unfortunate than to have soft, chubby, fat-looking children.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Send that to me.
There's nothing, I think, more unfortunate than to have soft, chubby, fat-looking children. I hope that all of you will join, and everybody in the United States.
Hey, don't tell anyone this, please. I feel the exact same way. I just do.
I like, how's a fat kid different than a fat dog?
You mean like, hey, you're just feeding it too much? Like, just stop feeding your kid so much?
Yeah. The dog and the kid, neither one gets in the car and goes to the grocery store and buys shit and throws it in the bowl.
I mean, this is just crazy.
There's nothing, I think, more unfortunate than to have soft, chubby, fat-looking children. I hope that all of you will join, and everybody in the United States, to make sure that our children participate fully in a vigorous and adventurous life, which is possible for them in this very rich country of ours.
That's why they're emotionally weak as fuck too, dude. There's got to be some...
The Russians saw that as a call to war. I don't know if prepping for war.
Oh, they did?
Oh, yeah. His whole fitness thing scared the shit out of them. And he made a point of showing it to them and rubbing their noses in it. And that whole presidential fitness thing was initiated by him. And remember we did some media on this. Someone did for us, Sev, about the...
Yeah, it goes on to show some of the stuff that was like, I think, led to us doing a media on it, right? This film.
This footage is from one of the 4,000 U.S. high schools that followed La Sierra's physical education program that was pushed to be the standard model by JFK. According to the La Sierra physical education standards that were outlined in their 1966 handbook, the minimum push-ups that a student should be able to do is 16. And they should have at least a 7.5-minute mile run. Considering most modern Americans struggle to even complete 5 push-ups, this 16 minimum is quite shocking. The top group that was outlined in the handbook is Blue Team, and to be a part of this, you had to be able to perform 12 handstand push-ups and at least 14 pull-ups, which are crazily impressive standards. Considering 1 in 6 modern American children have obesity, it is a shocking sight to see.
That's not true. It's more than that.
This is old.
Yeah, okay.
Did we produce this, Sevi?
No. I want to say
we paid for its production.
I think somehow the guy from LA somehow was something. There was some relationship. Someone brought you the trailer before the movie was made, and you're like, "Fuck yeah!" Like,
yeah,
And I think you knew maybe the coach at the high school or something back then or something. When TVs were black and white. Were you around then?
Yeah, I had a kid in the neighborhood when I was in...
You know that high school, right?
Yeah, between 6th and 7th grade, this kid, Carl Miller, he was in high school. He was going to Chatsworth High. And he bet me $20 I couldn't do... I said I could do 50 pull-ups. And he said, I'll give you $20 if you can do 50 pull-ups. He was just absolutely positive I couldn't. He says, not good ones. And I go, I can. So he went and got his $20, and everyone came outside and watched, and my dad and everyone else. There's a point to this story. It's not a brag.
How old were you?
It was between 6th and 7th grade, so I'd have been 12. And I did the $50, 50 pull-ups. I got the $20, and he had advice for me, and it was he did. He asked me if I'd heard of Steve Hugg, and I go, I hadn't. And he says, you need to hear of him. He goes to my high school, and he's the best gymnast in the country. And he's an Olympian, and he started in the local parks, just like you're doing. And I hadn't heard of the guy, but I made a point of it. And it was impactful for me. That $20 in that moment of victory fueled a gymnastics career, out of which came the understanding that I could do anything I wanted with enough hard work. And I learned in coaching the myth of talent. Bunch of cool shit. But I tell people that
Easy. Wait your turn. Go ahead.
I got more out of that sport than anyone I've met, and I know the greatest. No one took from gymnastics what I did.
Speak your mind, woman.
Okay, first, I'm a big fan of the show, and this is my first time calling in. I'm calling in because of the topic. I have a niece. Well, she's not my niece. She's my cousin's kid, but I call her my niece. And she's 4 years old and already like almost 80, 90 pounds. And I'm very fit and active, and I don't know how to like communicate to my cousin. And my mom has like the same concerns as me, like help the kid. Like both of the kids' parents are extremely like morbidly obese. And yeah. I've tried attempts, like for her birthday, I told my mom to give her
a thigh master.
Like I told my mom to sign her up for like a YMCA like soccer like team or basketball team. And I was like, that's a good way, because then you're just saying to put her in sports. You're not saying she's fat. And my mom, not like being way too trustful, just gave her the money and sent her the link, and she just used the money.
I have an idea. I have a plan here. If you'll call my mom and tell her that it's fucked up to come over and get drunk and start fights with people, I'll call your cousin and say, like a throw mama from the train kind of deal, and I'll never mention your name once. It'll be anonymous. I just want to talk to you about
How old's your mom, Greg?
93, 2, whatever. Old enough to know better. She's been doing it forever too.
God, one of the funnest times I had in Hawaii was hanging out with your mom at the bar. Me and her hung out at the bar just for fucking 2 hours. God, that was fun. Hey, so I don't know how I don't know if Caleb and Greg endorse this, but here's just my fucking truth. When you have a fat kid, you're gonna throw their hormones off, and you're gonna reach it. Mm-hmm. It sounds like the kid's probably already reached that weight. And what I call it is she's going to do she's going to total they're going to total the rig. The kid, by the time the kid's 6, the kid they'll alter the entire course of the kid's life. There's some really fucked up shit that happens to boys. Their penises and testicles won't develop if they get too fat too quickly as young boys.
You're telling me. I was a big kid too, not as big as her, but I was a chubby kid.
Yeah.
And I started puberty when I was 7 years old, like full on puberty. Like
yeah, they're gonna fuck. They're gonna. You gotta just tell them, hey, dude, food. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was on like the trans medication Lupron until I was 12. My parents didn't know any better. Just they were scared I had prepubescent puberty, and like now I'm in my 20s and I have like insane hormonal issues because of it. And I was not.
Are you really horny or the opposite?
No, I'm just like eventually when I want to have kids, like I have infertility issues, horrible eyesight, bone issues, things like that, because I was on puberty blockers for like 5 years.
Well, good on you for fucking getting super fit. I'm so proud of you, and your fucking voice sounds great. You just sound like a fucking cool person. Hey, someone just has to tell him like, hey, you're gonna change, you're gonna ruin this fucking kid's life. You better. And just I would just risk the whole relationship. I would just like send them a note and be like,
I use movies medicinally, like a dose of Wall-E. Put that on, and when it's over, put it on again.
I mean, at the end of the day, the food is just a fucking thing to alter our hormones, and they're just it's just a slower but equally effective method is fucking whatever that medication is. By the way, that's wild. Your parents put you on that. Did they ever say sorry to you for that?
Oh, they feel horrible now,
Oh,
and
that's
I
great.
totally forgive them. Like I remember,
good.
like
That's all good.
being in the doctor's office, and they totally convinced us it was normal and okay.
What was the hot? Was it Kaiser?
Yes, it was.
Fuck.
Oh shit!
It's always Kaiser, dude.
Sebi?
It's always Kaiser.
Hey, Sebi, who's the pediatrician? Let's hear it. It was probably your guy.
Oh my god.
I will say one thing that when my wife and I have to watch my niece.
Careful, Caleb. A lot of people know you who watch this show. Don't throw your whole family away right now. Don't say something crazy and your whole family hates you.
Yeah,
that's cool. When my wife and I watch my niece, we will just hang out at our house and we'll just we have rings. We just set up the gymnastics rings. We set up like obstacle courses. She's like, she's not as old as your niece, but we'll always be like doing something with her. Like we'll go outside, we'll go for walks, we'll play on the with the weight set up some pads and have her like jump around on it, whatever. Like I think and so now that we've done that, my niece wants to do that with her parents. So they'll just she wants to go like climb on their kids or climb on her parents or climb all over the couches and like do stuff. So I think getting them to do things is kind of helpful too.
You know what? People would always ask if they could bring like a Nintendo Switch or some bullshit to the gym with their kid. They were saying, I'm going to bring the kid. He'll be cool. He'll just sit there. And it was funny because that was always wrong. It's not the Switch, and they wouldn't use the coloring book. They're going to go rings and the kettlebells every fucking time. Every kid, they can't leave the rings and the kettlebells alone. But I never seen a fat girl do it. I'll tell you what, man. You bring a little fat girl over and she's not going to swing from the rings. There's a point where you kind of the boat's left, Sebi, like you were saying. I mean, of all the children we've had come to the house, it's been very few obese kids, but the ones that have, it's different.
Here, I mean, I know you know the problem. I'm preaching to the choir, but the kids are going to just copy whatever the parents do. So my kids like to work out at 10:30 at night. They drop F-bombs in everywhere they can, and they hold doors open for hot chicks. I mean, they're fucking spitting image of me. And it's like Greg's kids sit around with fucking math books and love fractions. You know what I mean? That your kids are who they're going to become who you are. Yeah, it's wild.
I've got a 9-year-old that does calculations in his head and he's proud of it. And I've got to get a 10-year-old to ask what's 9 times 7. She's like, ask Rhett, and she was committed to not learning her times tables, resolutely committed. And I told her that you're going to learn them. That's going to happen. And we just have to figure out, what that's going to do to you. And the hope is you don't hate me for it, but you are going to come out on the other side knowing your times tables. And I got a book of 5-minute drills. And I told her, we're just going to keep testing until you can break the 5-minute barrier with no errors. And
those were my favorite.
We did it, like there.
What are you going to do, by the way? What's your plan? What do you think you're going to do? How are you going to address this?
I just feel like my plan is just to kind of do what I originally did, but with my own money, sign her up for sports. They live in California and I'm living in Iowa, so it's hard.
They're fucked. They're aliens, dude. They're not even, where in California do they live?
They live in Orange County.
Oh, well, that's hope. That's, there's hope there.
Yeah. And I think the culture is a big part of it too. I'm Mexican. And so they're just like eating all the time. And there's constantly parties and just, she's hungry. And so they feed her and they eat a lot too. And so that's a huge part of it. But I am planning on moving back to California. So once I move back,
maybe you can tell them your story.
That's what I want to do.
Just be like, yo, don't, like, I'm fucked up from this. Stop it now. Stop your kid now. Don't let your kid get fucked up like I got fucked up. Learn from my mistake.
Yeah. And it's sensitive because the parents are kind of convinced, like, oh, we're fat, and like she has our genes, like she's born to be fat.
How many of your family do you know that has diabetes?
Nobody in my family has diabetes.
Really?
Yeah.
Mexicans can just eat. Mexicans just rice, beans, steak, chicken. They just eat.
They just go to sleep between 2 and 6 every day.
Yeah, in the 44th congressional district, the brown man's diabetes burden was 40% of women over 50.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with what they're saying. Like, I used to feel that way. My dad was like 400 pounds, and I was always kind of like struggled with my weight. But then my dad like kind of cut that mindset, and now he's like 180.
Wow.
And he just got really fit. Yeah. And
your dad's a beast.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he's awesome. And he'll anytime I'm home, him and my brother will jump in and do CrossFit with me, and they love it, and they're super supportive of it. And him doing that has kind of cut my mindset of like, yeah, like there's no excuses like to be healthy and things like that. And I was a college athlete, so I've always been fit. But
what did you do?
I was a rower. I'm sometimes in the comments. I was a rower, and I'm a rowing coach now.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Damn.
But I was like a little bit bigger, and I got away with it because of like 8 hours of cardio a day, pretty much.
You're a tall Mexican?
No, I was the shortest on my team, but I just was really, really fast. I'm like 5'6".
Oh, fuck, it's tall to me.
Sevi, what's her name? Our rowing gal that was also short in the 8-man boat, the Olympic medalist.
Mackenzie's chick?
Yeah.
Lauren Cathardo?
No.
Cafro?
Cafaro.
What did I say? Catardo?
I don't know.
Cafaro.
We're close.
Hey, as you address this, let me know. Hey, if they have the resources, they need to pull their kid out of school, not worry at all about education, and just fucking have that kid in 3 different sports every single fucking day. It's just basically.
I mean, that's what my parents did.
Yeah, like just fucking take that kid needs to be moving.
You can't. You can't go anywhere without addressing carbohydrate and listen. Whether there's a response to that or not is an entirely different issue than your obligation to say something about carbohydrate.
Yeah.
I mean,
thank you guys both.
Did you row at Nebraska?
No, I rowed at Miami, University of Miami.
All right, never mind.
That's where I found CrossFit. I went to Peak 360, Noah Olson's gym.
Oh, wow.
Best people ever.
Sweet. Yeah, Guido Trinidad.
Yes. So amazing. They changed my life. Totally.
Do you still talk to them?
Every once in a while. I saw them at Wadapalooza. We got to catch up. Yeah.
Tell them I said hi.
Okay. Next time, I'll let them know.
Cool.
Hey, thanks for being so cool. Tell your dad he's dope. He's my hero. I fucking love him. I don't even know him, and I love him.
And thank you guys.
Yeah.
And you know what, hon? Listen, now that I know more about you, I'm telling you what you need to do. It's an intervention, especially with your dad and brothers helping.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you. If it works, you're a hero. If it doesn't, you tried, and it's not your problem.
Yeah. It's just, it's hard facing it, but like you said, it's better to just know that I tried.
If mom and dad were on heroin, would you say something?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I'm not sure how this is different. And I went down this road one day and I looked up, I go, is addiction chronic disease? Because it's got so many similar kinds of properties, right? And the first thing that comes up is addiction is chronic disease. And where does this come from? NIH. It's official position, which, should have chased me away, but it's interesting. Okay, well, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you guys. Thank
I-
you.
Keep us posted. Hey,
I
as
would
you ruin.
call.
Yes, I will.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
We can intercept him at the juice machine, Sevi, at the Jack in the Box.
I'll text her your mom's phone number.
Yeah.
Oh, this shit is just fucking bums me out. Olivia, my 4-year-old nephew, intersex, is 90 pounds, autistic. It enrages me how she already has all these issues, and now she is obese.
What does that even mean? I'm so confused.
She's just saying like that's how fucked up the situation is. It's already fucking twice its recommended body weight, its healthy body weight, and it's confused about its sex. She's not saying it like she calls it that, is the way I'm reading it. I can't even talk to them anymore. They also gave him the jab. Holy shit.
Yeesh.
One of my buddies, I go, hey, what are you gonna do with your kids when they're ready to go to school? He goes, I'm sending them to blah blah school. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it's a public school. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm like, you like the school? They're like, yeah. I'm like, you met any teachers? And we're talking. He goes, hey, they got a trans kid in my kid's school. I'm like, dude.
That was a selling point?
No, my buddy doesn't like it, but I'm just like, you know that means that everyone around the school is pretending now. Oh my God, those parents are so brave. Like instead of anyone speaking up honestly about it, like, hey, you're fucking abusing your fucking kid. It's gonna be glorified, and that shit's gonna I just wouldn't want my kid around that. Oh, he's a hermaphrodite. I wonder if he is really a hermaphrodite, or if being 90 pounds overweight caused him to be a hermaphrodite. What does that mean? He has a cock and balls and a vagina?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Yep.
Sevi, your hair's growing long again. Steven, I sent you those shoes, by the way. $17 for shipping. Merry Christmas. A hermaphrodite, an organism having both male and female sex organs or other sexual characteristics, either abnormally or in the case of some organisms as the natural condition. Sevon, please acknowledge Jake's request. What the fuck is Jake's request? Oh, Sevi, please ask Greg if he studied the Magna Carta. Greg, hi. Have you studied the Magna Carta?
I can't say yes, but I know enough about it to, it's like one of those things that it just must have been an epic fucking moment when they got the king to sign, right?
Caleb, help.
Oh.
I was looking it up earlier.
Magna Carta was issued in June 1215 and was the first document to put into writing the principle that the king and his government was not above the law. It sought to prevent the king from exploiting his power and place limits of royal authority by establishing law as power in itself.
So that's how they got a prime minister? Is that how that works?
Well, which
Parliament?
king was it? I shouldn't have to do this.
1215.
So I can't say I've studied it. What was the king?
John. King John.
Okay, that would have been my guess. But he was told it's like sign it or you'll never make it back home. And everyone that could possibly defend him was there. He got brought to a hilltop in Scotland and told, put your signature on this fucking thing if you want to live. And he did. And everyone was happy and he went home. Big cheer. You know, like he had no fucking choice.
Yeah, King John.
I mean, I could just see you're like, yeah, I think it's a great idea. You know? I was going to come around. I was going to do this myself. You beat me to it.
I don't know shit about it. Is that somehow incorporated into the way all governments are run now today or something? Is it somehow been a massively influential?
It's got that Bill of Rights. It's one of the great moments in human liberty.
Jake Chapman, by the way, lives on the Isle of Man. JFK came to where it was signed because it was cited as the precursor for the USA.
That's reasonable. Like we talk about our Constitution, and they'll talk about the Magna Carta, you know?
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big damn deal. And the backstory is just beautiful. It should have been a movie on it. And I hear he didn't see it coming.
Oh, the king?
Yeah.
Speaking of big deal, did you see the clips? I haven't watched the whole interview yet of Tucker Carlson and Rand Paul, Papa Paul.
No.
It's pretty wild. They get into the Federal Reserve and about how that fucking thing needs to be fucking turned off, made go away.
Just let the market do its thing.
Yeah. You're cool with that, huh?
Yeah. If you heard RFK Jr., if you heard Bobby Kennedy on the deficit, the debt.
No, what's he
servicing
say?
the debt, and invite everyone to look at that.
Is it just him?
Locomotive headed towards another one on the track at full speed, and Trump and Biden, neither one seem to know or care.
The problem is so many people have been saying that for that. I mean, that's been going for 30 years now that no one takes it seriously, right?
Yeah, I've got a generation that isn't having kids and has no savings and doesn't own homes, isn't insured,
and the petrodollar is going away.
Retirement plan. It's interesting, and I agree. My grandparents thought the world was going to hell. My parents thought the world was going to hell, and now I'm 67 years old, and I think the world's going to hell. But you know what you have to do? You have to realize that worlds go to hell.
Yeah.
It happens. It's kind of like predicting climate change. You're gonna be right. You're gonna be right eventually. But there's some disturbing signs. That book I gave you, what is his name? Zehan? What's the?
Oh God, yeah. I'm sort of scared to look at that. The beginning of the end of the world, or the end of the world has begun, or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, you handed me that. I read the title. I'm like, you think that there's some truth in here? You're like, I forget what you said, but I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I'm opening this book.
Well, no, I said my bias for it is because here's the thing. I mean, the world is going to change dramatically, he says, but the United States, and in fact, the Western Hemisphere, will be largely unaffected.
Oh, the end of the world is just the beginning.
But Europe's going to see more war and maybe even nuclear war, and China's fucked.
Oh, and that's when you told me, hey, I have such a bias. I can't say anything about China.
Yeah, I have such a bias of hope that I don't know if I can be objective in looking at this thing.
We had a really close election last time.
Yep.
And
stolen or not, it was close.
Right.
Maybe it had to be stolen to be close. Maybe there was no appreciable theft in any direction.
Right.
But we could agree on it was close.
Yeah.
Okay. What has happened since then that would devalue either Joe's or Donald's stock?
Everyone's
I maintain that the indictments and charges and all the bullshit that's been thrown at Trump to remove him from the ballot so that he doesn't get elected in the name of saving democracy. How's that for some fucking, like, that's like gender affirming healthcare, right? Like, whoever came up with that should win a prize for fucking naming shit. I'm going to start giving those out. Whoever came up with gender affirming healthcare should win a prize.
Yeah. Just for word fuckery?
Yeah. Could anything mean less than what it sounds like?
Yeah.
An oxymoron, is that what it's called?
You need your gender affirmed by chopping off your penis.
Yes.
Hey, it's the confirmation of you want your mental illness confirmed. You want your mental you want to live out your mental illness.
It'll be confirmed for the rest of your life.
It's got all the medical charm of cutting your hands off to stop thievery.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's even more realistic, though. I mean, there is a. I mean,
it would play hell with your pickpocketing career, wouldn't it,
dude? I mean, it's there's more. I think there's a greater cause and effect there, in terms of you'll get the outcome you want.
It does seem, though, a place where medicine shouldn't be, right? I mean, I generally have a problem with surgical corrections for behavior. If I were a physician, I would be speaking loudly for physicians against that.
Right.
You don't think lobotomies solve psychosis?
Yeah. I have problems with bariatric surgery, genitalia removal.
Also, weren't you telling me this too? You don't like you also are very suspect of. I mean, obviously, ethically and just logically, it doesn't make sense. But also that you all of a sudden, as soon as you do any of those surgeries, you're on a subscription service for meds. Or maybe it was my cousin telling me this. He's like, yeah, of course they love that shit. As soon as you do that, you're on a subscription service for meds for the rest of your life. They love that shit. Like that's the end game. That's why they want you to use Adobe Photoshop, because then you have to pay for this. You can't buy the software anymore. You have to be on the subscription service. Bullshit. Get your penis chopped off. You have to be on meds the rest of your life, right? We got you on the service.
Like Johnny's liver. We're going to watch it. 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 You need a new one. There was no need for the surgery. Then the benefit didn't mesh well with the risk. Then the risk to the surgery was too great. Then you need a transplant. And the guy he was going to all along was the world famous transplant surgeon. He's got him queued up like fucking jumbo jets landing at LAX.
Ready for maintenance.
Just watching him. He should have definitely had the liver surgery early, long ago.
You're in the wrong body, Janelle Winston. You're in the wrong body. What the fuck does that mean? Yeah, I mean it's not like you're in the wrong car. You ever done that? Go to a parking lot and you're on the phone. You go to the wrong I'll go to the wrong black Toyota 4Runner. My kids are like, dude, wrong car. I'm like, oh, sorry. Or they'll do it,
Dude, I was driving down the street after dropping the kids off at school in Maggie's Escalade going, this is a filthy fucking car. Look at this, man. This is even bad for Maggie. And then it hit me, not my car. And I'm cruising.
Got in and drove away in someone's Escalade?
Someone put their fucking black Escalade next to mine with the keys, left the keys in it. And I'm on my way home bitching about the mess in the car.
Oh, I would have loved it if you got arrested.
You should have seen the smoothness with which I put that back.
Did they even notice?
No one noticed.
Oh, hell yeah.
God damn.
Yep, I left.
In your Escalade.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
In hers, then ours.
And that is the car. Everyone always leaves their keys in those cars. And you always leave your keys.
It's Santa Barbara, buddy. Yeah. Hey, and my worry was that she was driving mine off.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess it's a 1-for-1.
Hey, tell me about tell me about the boat thing.
Oh,
You went to San Diego yesterday and rode and got on your boat, or 2 days ago?
Yeah. It's the second time I've been out good on it, and I'm new to boating, everyone, but I got a lot of boats, so I took to it quickly. And the ocean going thing is new. First boat I ever had was an ocean going rowboat, and but now I got an Axopar 37.5 center cabin, and I tell you, I was getting this like Hemingway-esque old man in the sea vibe. And then I realized, no, I'm going to be more like the old man in the marina.
You were channeling, by the way. That's what channeling is. You were probably channeling Hemingway. We had Ronnie Teasdale on the other day was talking to us about channeling. You were probably channeling.
That's right.
I tell you what, California from the water is a beautiful thing, you know. So there's 1.5 million people in front of me, and I'm out watching these 2.5, 3 foot breakers at Point Loma, and there's no one out there. It's like a perfect break, perfect surf day, sunny, 80 degrees, and no one out there. All I needed was drop anchor and throw some kids out there with boards. That's the Pacific Northwest. So we're actually going up to in the in June, going up to Pacific Northwest and going to do a bunch of the San Juan Islands.
When are you doing that?
End of June.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, and that boat's fast as shit too, right? I rode in that boat. We went over 50 miles an hour, right?
Yeah. Make 3G turns and shit. It's crazy. And protected. You get out of the wind and sun, which is cool. Out of the elements.
So if you go to the sea, are you going to sleep? Are you going to sleep in it, or you'll just drive around all day and then just pull
go
up the
to
hotel?
Bed and breakfasts on different islands, where their only contact with the outside world is via boat. So they have marinas, docks, and.
Hey, Christian has a good point. Christian Keller, Greg, you could start a shuttle service for illegal immigrants.
I sure could. You're talking about back.
I'll take you back for free.
Yeah.
Great question, Sleeky. Will you let anyone pee in it, Greg?
No.
They can't use the toilet. It does have a toilet.
They can. I'm gonna have to on the boat.
Why can't you just pee off the side?
I tell you what, all my kids would, and the missus.
My grandpa used to have a hollowed out plastic like wiffle ball bat. So whenever we'd go fishing or whatever, he would just pee through the bat. That way it didn't hit the boat or anything. It just goes.
So he would stand on the edge of the boat, put the wiffle ball bat around his cock.
Yep.
And then just point it down to the water.
Yep. Just far enough away.
Would you put it in the water? No.
No.
So, and which end is the pee coming out of? The fat end or the skinny end?
The skinny end.
Depends on how thick your dick is. Depends on how thick your dick is.
Cut both ends off?
Yeah.
That's impressive. I like that.
I was like, wow, that's actually a genius idea. But it's only your bat. You got to get multiple.
Everyone's got a bat. Yeah, I'm not sharing your bat. That's interesting.
Smart idea. That way you don't have to have smelly pee all over your boat.
I mean, you could just on one of those platforms on the back of the boat, you could just put like a kiddie toilet, and anyone could just and just take the lid off of it, and girls can just sit on it and just pee, and it would just go into the, you know what I mean, the base. And girls could just go into the water. You can't see their stuff anyway. That's the cool thing. The girls can just pee in public. They don't have any stuff to see.
Never even know it.
Yeah.
And they're quick.
That chick was in decent exposure. What do you mean? What'd you see? Nothing. I think we have good continuity. I always know the show's ending when we're talking about female genitalia.
The new timeline.
Started with an abortion and ended with pudendum.
Bookends, pudendum. All right. Did your grandfather have a van toilet? No, I had a van toilet.
No van toilet.
My wife told me to throw the van toilet away. Do you have any toilets in any of your cars, Greg? Are you going to have that again soon?
No.
But you got a new baby coming.
On the floor, they pee on the seat. I had this no food in the car rule, and I in a soft moment, I violated my rule the one time. Okay. And the kids got shakes, and Robbie dropped her strawberry shake in the back seat of my truck, and from about 3 feet up in her car seat, it dropped and landed perfectly upright, which put most of the shake on the headliner. It was just like it was so amazing. I wasn't even mad. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I had shake all over me. We all had strawberry shake all over us. And the look on her little face, she knew she'd really fucked up. Two things: lost the shake. She knew of the no with nothing in the car rule. And here we we're all got strawberry shake all over us. She's getting none other than when she can lick off her hands. But I just found it just amazing that I let go one time. And then the next time, there's another drive-through thing, and someone took their cheeseburger and ground the patty across the perforated leather air-conditioned back seat. And so every little hole has burger and cheese in it.
So every time you turn on the AC, it smells like fucking it's burger time.
No way.
Hey, is Maggie listening right now? I want to tell this story she shouldn't hear.
No one's here.
So Greg orders this Mercedes-Benz 4-wheel drive van. It's so sick. So sick. Hardwood floors, cool TV in it, the leather seats, the log around his family, right? Just the coolest, the war van. And we go pick it up from where it's ready. Do you remember this, Greg?
Not yet. I hate that thing.
I think we picked it up in San Jose. You just got
talk anyone out of a Sprinter.
And yeah, it's the most insane sprinter van you've ever seen. And it's got beautiful, it's all tricked out. And he orders this Trenta iced tea. And he goes, "Do you want to drive?" And I'm like, "Sure." And he sets it. It's got a fucking cup holder on the dash, but the cup holder's like it doesn't hold the cup actually. It's just like a little divot for it. It might as well be a coaster. It's pointless. And I step on the gas, and this Trenta iced tea just tips over in this brand new Sprinter van and hits the ground. Do you remember that, Greg? And you didn't even flinch. I thought, oh, he's going to kill me. I'm dead. You're like, oh. I'm just like.
That's the story with that thing. I mean, like, I wouldn't have
seen 1,000 drinks
on my list of problems with that fucking thing. How about the worthless rearview mirror? The back window's so dark you see nothing. It's just black back there. The heater doesn't work. The air conditioner doesn't work. Not like you'd want. The hands-free doesn't work. Hey, Schnaz drove it from Idaho to Vegas, and when he got out of the car, he stepped out and collapsed because his feet were so numb. It was like when you bite your lip coming from the orthodontist. The vibration was so bad on his feet, they were numb, and he couldn't feel them, so he couldn't walk.
Oh my God. So got off the toilet after taking a shit for 2 hours.
I don't know if you remember this too. Later on that day or a couple days later, me and you were in that van taking it somewhere, and we stop at a gas station in Watsonville. Do you remember this? And I fill up the gas tank, and I get back in the car, and we're in there for like 15 minutes, and you're like, "Dude, what's up?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And I go out there, and it's just like I put 300, I put 40 gallons in the Sprinter and fucking 200 gallons on the ground. The guy at the gas station was so pissed. It was I had to fill out paperwork and shit. It was like a hazmat issue.
Sevy, you remember the iced tea in Portland?
The one
I'm with Dale and Sevy in Portland, and I'm explaining something. I'm talking, and it's a big enough story. I have to set my iced tea down. One exactly like this.
We're outside. Brand new Trenta iced tea. We just sat down. Yeah.
I set it down, and something in my face tells me I should look over at my iced tea because Dale and Sevy both look like they've seen a ghost. So I look back over my shoulder, and Sevy's filming. He's got the camera running.
I gotta find that.
And I see this homeless fucking guy's drinking my iced tea, standing there right next to me.
Homeless guy with the briefcase. He's homeless, but he's also got like a businessman's briefcase.
with a how about go fuck yourself look on his face to boot.
Yeah.
It's my tea now.
So what happened, Sevy?
He put the iced tea down, and Greg picks it up. He goes, "No, I want you to have it," and just fucking throws it. Hey, dude, from 3 feet away, and the Trenta iced tea hits him in the chest. I want you to have it. And there's these two fucking foreigners there, like this man and woman in like their 60s, and they're like, "Holy fuck, what is going on?" The dude, do you remember? He was a big guy, tall, thin guy. But do you remember he scampered away? Like he couldn't even believe it. I thought me and you and Dale were gonna have to beat him up, but he just kind of like freaked out.
Caleb, he might have received the iced tea at 65 miles an hour
At point blank range.
The sound on the video was awesome too. It was different. It sounded metallic almost. The acoustics of it were bizarre.
Like an alien's water broke.
We all had iced tea on us too. Everyone got some.
Yeah.
Even the tourists.
Worth it.
And then in 3 seconds later, Greg was telling the story again.
Another one? Do you want me to get you another one?
No, I want you to have it. Wham.
It put me in charge of the homeless.
God, that was good. My kid threw up last night.
Uh-oh.
In the middle of the night. I mean, he was cool. I didn't even notice. My wife said, hey, Joseph got up in the middle of the night and threw up. I'm like, oh.
Those stomach bugs kind of come and go fast, right?
I guess it was weird. I just like how cool he is. I'm like, Joseph, did you cry? He goes, no. I'm like, are you bummed? He's like, no. I'm like, all right. My other two kids my oldest kid would think he's going to die.
Maggie will say to the kids, you don't look good. You all right? Yeah, I'm all right. You sure? You don't look so good. Are you going to throw up? And then like pretty soon that's where we go.
Like you think she causes it or she just senses it? She's got mother.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew in intake in the ER, you don't want to mislead and you don't want to suggest anything.
Well, you know what my wife does to everyone in my house, including myself? She'll just be like, hey, go to the bathroom. She just knows. Like if she senses the smallest like dance between me or one of the boys, like the pee dance, she'll be like, hey, you got to go to the bathroom. She'll know I have to go to the bathroom before I have to go to the bathroom. Sometimes I'll be like, oh shit, I didn't even realize I had to go to the bathroom. Maybe she's just a witch, Jewish witch, casting the pee spell on everyone.
One of my kids lets out a big fart. Maggie will call him by name to go take a shit, will you? Jesus Christ, get out of here. And they'll try, it wasn't me. And she goes, the fuck it wasn't. I don't have those skills, man.
How's the house?
Buddy, it's moving so fast. I mean, we had like 30 workers there yesterday.
When I was there was you had the gym, obviously at the 50-yard line, but the house was just, and I was just there a couple weeks ago. The house was just the foundation and some steel beams. You're saying there's actually like wood around there now and walls and shit?
Like windows are in, not installed, but have arrived. They're ready to go.
Hey, at the BSI event, someone said, hey, this is the cleanest construction site I've ever seen.
It was.
Was it you, Caleb, who said that? Someone said that. That is actually, it is remarkably clean. It looks like a park.
My guy, John Schultz, is a legendary builder, and there's a story. I've met some incredible people through John for just in current builds, and he runs 8 or 9 projects at a time, and they're all 20 to 40,000 square foot kind of properties. And there's the skill with which he manages his people and the concerns he has for them is really, really a touching thing. But my superintendent on our project basically lives in the trailer on the property. He's there at dawn and leaves at night. 5 or 6 days a week, but he's got 8 or 9 of these guys, and my guy Daniel is one of the new guys. He's been with John for just 15 years, and there's 2 other guys that have been with John for 30 years, and they all drive nice new trucks and have nice new beautiful homes, and John loves these people. But Daniel had a son that was had some super challenges at birth, medical challenges. And I was in meetings with John and the architect when when Daniel's son was in the hospital and John was going to and from the meeting, checking in, and he was beside himself. He couldn't function. And so we adjourned the meeting and, hey, let's do this later, man. You know, this doesn't have to be now. But you know, his employee's son is in serious has serious medical issues, and the boss can't function. That's how much he cares. And that's a special relationship to have, to be a young contractor in development, in training, and have a guy that treats you like a father. It's pretty amazing relationship, and they all feel that way about John.
John sounds like he needs a
It happens
girlfriend.
on time, and there's no bullshit, and there's no corners cut.
John sounds like he needs a girlfriend in San Diego.
John's got a great wife and a healthy marriage and a couple of beautiful homes, and very, very active older guy, rides horses. He's a stud.
Have I met him?
I think so. He looks like the brawny paper towel guy. 6'4" or 5", 250, lean.
Wow.
And a crazy good builder. Crazy good builder.
I couldn't find a screw on the property to like cut open a box. Like you couldn't find a tool left out. You couldn't find a nail anywhere. There was no exposed beams. Like it was pretty immaculate. I couldn't walk 10 feet in my house without finding some pliers and a.
So he's got 8 or 9 projects running, and he keeps the subs on year round. And so there are guys getting paid that aren't working.
Wow.
And boy, do they treat that with, you know, John says, I need you here, drywall here tomorrow. If any chance, they show up fast. And half of the beauty of the build with a guy like that is anything we've needed done over here. We just ask, hey, do you know an electrician? And like, does he know an electrician? And the electrician he knows worships him. And so the dispatch is instant.
That's amazing.
Sevon, did you ever find the Matoothian? I did find the box of Matoothian. In a cleanup, it ended up in Greg's laundry room. And then I don't know who I was talking to yesterday, but I was like, hey, did I give you some Matoothian at Greg's BSI event? And they're like, no, you were being stingy as fuck. Like,
yeah, I didn't.
Did I give you one, Caleb?
No, I think you
Did I give you one, Greg? I didn't give you one either.
No.
All my closest friends, I didn't give them shit. Jesus.
Maybe you've heard you're not supposed to mix business with pleasure, right?
Matoothian with friends?
Yeah. No, send me some. I'll give it a whirl.
You give it a review?
Every tooth powder I've used, I've enjoyed, and when it ran out, wanted to get more and didn't.
I'm sending my distributor a text right now. All right, thanks for coming on.
It's always good to be here. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Caleb.
Great later, dude. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Yeah, and it was fun having you out here, Caleb. You got to come back.
Absolutely, that was a great time.
Do you know enough about construction? Could you see the quality of the build in the frame?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no gaps in the wood. Like everything is sealed tight. Like it's a pretty beautiful build, that's for sure. You got a nice house coming.
All right, gentlemen.
I'm going to send you 2 jars, one for you and one for Maggie.
Love it.
Okay.
All right, bud.
Okay.
Bye. It wasn't tested on animals, was it?
No animals were hurt. No.
Okay.
You're the test dummy.
All right.
Bye. Did he start the show by saying I'm as dumb as Trump?
I don't think so.
Okay. I wanted to be offended the whole show, but I just pushed it down.
Did I tell you about that Folgers can that's the previous owner put in the wall as a cat door?
No, tell me about it. I drank Folgers this morning because I ran out of Paper Street Coffee, and I have like this like emergency Folgers container.
Is it like that red tub? It's like probably
No. Mine's a trip. It's kind of like the Matusian lid. It's this big. It's like the old. No, it's not the tub. The
Oh.
round. No. But it is pretty. It's a funky container. It's funky. It's
Yeah.
like it feels like I'm back. Every time I grab it, I feel like I'm teleporting back to the 70s.
Well, the previous owner took one of those Folgers tubs, like the red one that had like the plastic lid you can just peel off kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he drilled a hole in the wall, like a big, probably foot in diameter hole. And he shoved the tube in there, or the Folgers can, and then caulked around it so it's sealed into the wall. And so he used it as like a cat door, because we're pretty sure he had a cat, because it just smelled like cat piss all over the house. But when we first came in, it doesn't anymore. But
Do you have a picture of that? That's a D. What's it called? DY. Do it yourself.
DIY.
DIY cat door.
yeah,
That's amazing.
so he put that in there. Here. This is what it looks like. It's upside down.
Wow, that's better than I thought. What are those nodules in there?
That's like the handle from the Folgers can that you like.
Dude, your
hold
wife
up.
looks like she's 12 in that picture.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. Anyway,
What are those nodules?
it's like what you put your hand in. Like what if it's like the ergonomics of the jar.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
It-
So he had that in there, and we initially thought like, oh, maybe we'll just fill it.
yeah.
And then I was like, well, what if we just put a litter box on the other side, and our cat can just walk through in and out of there to go use the litter box, so that we don't have it in the house. 'Cause it
Oh,
just-
that's interesting. Put the litter box outside.
yeah.
Oh, that's genius.
And so my dad built a
Show-
box.
Oh,
I put some insulation on it.
that it's weird that he put it right over the outlet. That was stupid.
Yeah, very stupid. The whole thing is dumb. So I stapled a bunch of insulation in it, and then I put it on the other side.
Oh shit, that's gangster, dude. That's way cooler than wow.
They put a horse stall mat underneath it, and then the cat just walks in and out.
Where's the litter box gonna be?
Just right here. In this
Oh
little
fuck.
spot.
Oh, so when it goes through, it actually steps into the litter box.
It's really small. Like the litter box is small. It doesn't take up that whole space. Which so you can like walk through it and then walk around and then take a shit, piss all over the place.
God,
Maybe eventually once we clean out the middle section, she'll be able to roam through there. But right now, that's what we're doing.
damn. You could never do that in California. You need a permit.
I don't think I could do anything with this house with that in California.
Yeah, you need a permit. Shit in the dark. Yeah, that's dark shitting.
She's a cat. She can see in the dark.
Was your wife disappointed that she tied me in the deadlift competition?
No, she's actually pretty stoked because she
Oh,
does.
okay.
She doesn't deadlift that very heavy very often, so she was proud of herself.
Yeah, I was pretty happy that
Yeah, that was cool.
yeah, I was pretty happy. I tied a fire. I don't tell the story like I just tell the story. I did deadlift competition and tied this young, strong CrossFitting firefighter.
That's the truth of it. That's how it happened.
Hey, Kenneth Lab deadlift competition, such alpha shit. Yeah, my idea too.
It was almost going to be a clean competition. I'm glad it wasn't. That would have
I'm
sucked.
so glad it wasn't.
Deadlifts was fun.
And I was glad that the bar that there weren't any like heavy weights there, right? So we did a deadlift competition, but I think the heaviest weight we had was 15 pounds, right?
Yeah, the heaviest plates we had were 15 pounds. That's right.
And so by the time you got 315 on there, 325, did you end up doing 325, 335?
Yeah, whatever
Whatever you did, there were so many weights on there that they fell off, like they wiggled off, right?
Right.
They were just on by a lip.
We were the assholes in the gym that they used all the 10s.
Yeah. But it was fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
God, that was fun. I really enjoyed that. Someone made a comment in the it's funny, perception's a trip. Someone made a comment in the YouTube comments, hey, all your talk about doing the open and then you not doing, I forget, whatever I didn't do, really makes it insincere. I'm like, dude, I did workout 1 and workout 2. I'm so proud of myself. I considered strongly doing workout 3. I did 100. I was inspired to do 100 thrusters with 65 pounds. I just didn't want to do it. I try, you know. I wouldn't say it's insincere. I signed up.
It was a good workout.
Yeah, I don't want to say I did my best. But fuck. How you do everything is how you do anything. I'm just a 60%er. What can I say? Hit everything at about 60%. Yeah, I did the open and zone. I did a mix of the open and zone 2 training. Jesus Christ. It must have been hard for Greg to let Sevon go from CrossFit. He never let me. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? How many people here think that Greg let me go from CrossFit? Raise your hand. Imagine all the misconceptions out there of just shit.
People think they know about stuff and they actually don't.
Oh, no, it wasn't from you, Blade. It was from someone else. I didn't say insincere, but I did say you're the reason I signed up, but then gave a lowercase middle finger to you for not doing all that. Yeah, that's fair. You think Greg, you really? Well, that makes sense. You think that? Oh, Tyler Watkins thinks that? Dan thinks that?
Greg said he didn't do that.
You were fired like you fired Brian from the podcast. Yeah, exactly. Who thinks that I kicked Brian off the podcast? Does anyone here think that too? Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you guys? No, I wasn't. No, you can leave. No, Greg paid me, made me wealthy to the day he left. And then he sold the company and I was stuck there with those fucking, the wokerazzi. I was stuck there with the racist homophobes and transphobes. I got stuck there with the bad people, the Rosa people, all the DEI people. Greg didn't fire me. I did. Listen, guys. Listen, the Brian thing is first, Greg didn't fire me. Eric Rosa fired me and my wife on the day that it became legal to fire us. I think that they couldn't fire us or something because of some COVID law. You couldn't fire people in California. And the day that came up, they fired both of us. I would argue to this day, two of the hardest working, if not the two hardest working people in the company, two of the most influential and hardest working people in the company. And if someone wants to dispute that, I'll let them. You can be my tie and my wife's tie, but you can't. You can't say you ever worked harder than me. And then, were you maybe Sleeky was fired that day too? Brian went on to work at Talking Elite Fitness, where they paid him 5 times what I paid him. I saw that. Someone sent me a clip of that yesterday. The thing is when Brian worked on the podcast, I encouraged him to do everything and anything else he wanted to. Like I was excited every time he went on Talking Elite Fitness. I was excited when he went on Lone Ranger. I was excited when he went on Bar Bend. I was always like, yeah, do it, dude, do it. Don't worry, just do it. And then and basically he would always tell me that, hey, basically none of these other people really want me doing your show. They think it's bad. And I'd be like, that's fine. But I don't care if you do their shows. I think it's better for my show when you do their shows, but you do you. And then basically one day he came to me and he said, hey, I'm going to Talking Elite Fitness and I can't do your show anymore. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I can't do any more CrossFit stuff on your channel. And he had been basically telling me, for 18 months leading up to that, every other month or something, that that he was getting that kind of pressure from people. But when they finally offered him enough money, he jumped at it. He was like, okay, I'm willing to. And I don't know, maybe he also liked them more too. I don't know. Maybe he liked them more. Maybe he thought the shows were better with them. Maybe that's the direction he wanted. I don't know. I don't know what, but he basically said, hey, I'm out of here. I can't do your show anymore. So I was like, okay, cool. And then a month later, he's like, hey, dude, those dudes, or I don't know if it's a month or 2 months. He basically said, and just the spirit of what I'm saying is true. Like for those of you who are like literalists, this probably story's not for you. You should switch. But a month or two later, he came back and said, hey, dude, those guys, those guys kicked me to the curb and I want to come back on the show. I said, cool, come back on the show. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want, like you always could, anything. And then all the people around me will tell you I'll pretty much do any show. Like I'm open to just like helping, like trying shows out, do whatever you want. And he said, okay. And then he said, I spoke to one of your sponsors and they're ready to start paying me again. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to do business with you again. Those days are over. I'm not going to, but you can come on the show. And I said, hey dude, you should come on the show because I think it's really good for your brand. And I said, I think every time you come on the show, you're probably your following or in your brand or whatever the fuck you're trying to do probably grows 0.1%. So every time you're on the show, every 10 times you're on the show, you grow 1%. So if you come on the show 100 times, your shit grows 10%. I think that. I think that this show, I think the 7 podcast is good for people to explore that stuff, to grow their shit. I think it's good for everyone's attention. Like, here's the thing. No matter how much like Danny Spiegel hates me or doesn't hate me or whatever, if she were to come on the show or if she were to do, let's say Danny Spiegel did a show like Haley Adams did with Hiller. Let's say she let Hiller come film with her for 2 days. It would catapult her like she's never been catapulted before. Because 10,000 of the most ravenous people out there in the space would change their perception of her. And it would be way more powerful than the other 1,790,000 followers she has that follow her because she's a cum dumpster. Or not that she is one, but that she presents like one. It'd be a complete shift. But anyway, so it just is what it is. I don't mean it in any arrogant way. It just is. It is what it is. It's how I think that these things are working these days. So then basically he said, hey, I can't come on your show if you don't pay me. So like, I'm like, okay. And that kind of worked out. Like those were all his decisions. But by that point already, I had decided, and I think everyone knows this about me, like I'm really interested in investing in the people around me who can run with it. Like I'm really interested in, I really like what John Young's done and JR's done and what Caleb's done and what Sousa's done and what Tyler Watkins has done and what Coffee Pods and Wads has done and what Chase and Bill have done. It's funny, you can't just give Chase or just Bill. It's their Chase and Bill. They're a team. They're a partnership. They're a couple. Just all, and so like I only have 365 days a year, so I'm just like, I told you guys this before, like the Taylor versus the World would have been great if we would have had Khalipa or Josh as the commentators, and it's nothing against them. I mean, and I'm guessing that they may have done it, but I just want to keep investing in my crew. That's how I even came up with the idea Taylor Self versus the World. I was just like, okay, oh, Taylor and JR, they have a show on this, they have a that's basically what I thought the whole time. Taylor versus the World. Right after I had the idea and I thought it would be fun, I was like, oh God, I hope this is awesome for their Shut Up and Scribble show. Anyway, so that's the thing with Brian. There is no beef. There's nothing. There's just like, it's just resources for me. And he just chose his way. There were like a million chances. He chose his way. I have no beef with him. Hello? Hello? Hi.
I think kind of right with the whole, if you come in on the show, you get a
hold on. Hold on. Jesus. Who is that? That person has like the deepest voice ever. Okay, hello? I gotta get this. I had to hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? Sorry, I had to reset the phone. Only one phone call per roadcaster. Go ahead.
So, like you said, the going on the show exponentially helps you out. It's a good example because I used to follow Katrin.
I don't know if it
And then
exponentially helps you out, but it does help you out. It's good for people to come on here. I don't know if exponential, but it's a positive thing. Sorry, go ahead.
I stopped following her for some reason. I just started finding her annoying, Katrin. Then I saw her on BTS, and she showed a side of her that I hadn't seen before, and it was something was like, man, she's actually pretty cool. So I started following her again. So if I did it, I'm sure a lot of other people did it. You know what I mean? It wasn't directly towards the Sevon podcast, but it was the behind the scenes. So it was something where like you had a hand in it, which showed her better side. In turn, I started following, which in turn will help her get, a better social media exposure.
This is what
is my thinking. Anyway.
Jethro, you know what I think too, and this is like so like just self-serving. I think that for every 1,000 followers you have, you'd rather have one Sevon podcast follower. That's that's what they bring to the table. I think they have a far greater influence on the people around them. They're I don't know what you want to call them, repeaters, cool people, conversioners, movers, shakers, sincere people, honest people, whatever the fuck category bucket. I would not trade the 27,000 subscribers. I wouldn't, the 3,000 followers I have on Instagram, I would not for a second trade it for fucking 300,000 of someone else's Instagram followers. No fucking way. Not The Rock's, not anyone's.
And you can see it when you follow those people who have X amount of followers and their comments.
Yeah.
Not as many. You have a lower amount of followers, just as many comments and follows and likes.
And I like interacting with them. They're in my my DMs are not a scary place at all. It's chaos, but it's I like my social media friends. Like a lot. I'm not like, yeah, there's these people that send me dick pics and I don't like it. I'm like, yeah, there's these people that send me dick pics and they're cool dicks. You know what I mean? Like I found my tribe.
Like Danny Spiegel, I stopped following her a while ago. I stopped following Danny Spiegel. I just found her really, really annoying. But if she would have come on the podcast, or if Hiller did something like that with Haley, I think it would show a side to her that might have people to like her again.
Right. And hey, and this is going to sound really fucking douchey, but I guess I'm douchey. I don't think it affects my podcast.
No.
Like, I don't think like she comes on and I put on 3,000 subscribers. I think she's less influential to my podcast than I am to her, even though she has fucking gazillion times more followers. Yeah.
But it would be good for her though. And that's what you said. You are here for the athletes to show themselves off. And it's, you're going to welcome them into your home and you're going to show them a good time.
We're in a world of retards, Jethro. I was chatting with this friend of mine the other day in my DMs, and he's like, hey, check this person out. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, hey, is that person competent in their field? And they go, well, yeah, they have 200,000 followers or whatever. I can't remember exactly what they said. And I'm like, holy fuck. That's the third time I've come across that in 24 hours where someone's giving someone's validity based on the number of their followers. I was like, wow.
Nah, I know someone.
What a fucking crazy town banana pants world we live in.
I think this social media influencer has over 300,000 followers. And I know her family member very, very closely. And again, her social media life is the complete opposite of her regular life. Completely the opposite. It's all for show.
God, that sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Sevon followers, Graciano Rubio, Sevon followers are the best. Only group that starts off with telling you to see my boobs. It wouldn't be tolerable to come on here every morning for any of us at 7 a.m. if we didn't like each other.
I coach now when the show starts, and it's so disappointing. I used to follow it from
sucks to be you.
The beginning. Yeah, it sucks to be me.
You're doing God's work.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna go finish mopping. Bye, Caleb.
Okay, bye.
Later, dude.
Later. I
Bye.
need Paper Street coffee. This Folgers doesn't hit quite the way the Paper Street coffee bean does.
I need to order some too.
Oh
I
shit!
got our coffee maker up and running again.
God, dude, Sarah Cox's body's insane. Holy shit! She sent a picture of her wearing Savage ones, but like no one's looking at those. Jesus
Like Danny
Christ.
Spiegel's tier ad.
Yeah, it's like Jesus Christ. She's in a sports bra and some really cool. I don't know if those are Lululemons or what they are, but they're cool.
It's supposed to be a shoe ad. It's not a body ad. Jeez.
There's nothing to look at except her body here. Fucking ridiculous. Anyway, so that's the thing. I wasn't fired and Brian wasn't asked to leave. He left a few times.
Hiller's already started an ass pounding on Instagram.
Oh, of Brian?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why Brian said any of that stuff. He shouldn't.
Just a little tease.
Can you pull it up? Yeah, please. I don't know why he did that. That's just stupid.
This is just a microdose of the rest of the episode.
Okay.
You know, people will ask, hey, are you working with Sevan? Are you working with Hiller? Are you working with Talking Elite Fitness? Are you working with Morning Chalk Up? Are you working with any other media outlet? And when the answer is no, they say, we have an opportunity for you.
Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. On a side note, God, I think I blushed. On a side note, oh shit, Hiller's wearing a CEO shirt in New York City.
Is he?
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh yeah, with his girl.
Yeah,
they're so cute. Just exploring.
Dude, you know what's crazy? I think of her as being crazy tall. Is he tall? I don't think if Hiller's tall. Is Hiller 6 feet tall?
No.
He's
shorter than me.
Yeah, well, you're taller than 6 feet. He's definitely shorter than you.
Okay, yeah.
How tall do you think Hiller is? 5'10"?
5'9", 5'10", probably.
So those views on Taylor versus Colton, I mean, man, I have to guess Born Primitive was so fucking happy. I mean, granted, they have a great shoe, they had great commercials, they have great clothing, so it's not like they gave us shit stuff to sell. I mean, their shit's awesome. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Starwood, I bought some Born Savage ones because of this podcast. I bought Tier CX1 and they are shite for wide feet. Oh, they are shite for wide feet? What do you think about this Savage ones? Did I describe them perfectly? What is what can I see the comments in that post?
The Brian post?
Yeah. Is it gonna get fucking weird for him?
If it has not already.
Brian just needs some love. Poor guy. Hey, Hiller, you got to give him some credit. At least he mentioned all your names as opposed to some other victim mentality individuals. That's a good point. I like that comment. MC has never had those numbers. Talking Fitness hasn't been close to those in 11 months. Brian has done what I like. What I like. This think Hiller, Mr. Self would never do, and TS has told me this himself. Who's TS? Oh, Taylor Self. Never forget your roots and how you got your platform. If you don't agree with somebody, that's is what being an adult is. Am I having trouble? Am I having a stroke?
No, he has fucking horrible grammar.
Okay. If you see me start talking like that, you got to call my wife. If you see me fucking glitching like that.
Okay. No, he just can't type very
well.
well.
Thank you. See how insecure I am? I wasn't even sure what the fuck was going on for a second. That's fine. Don't throw people away who have gone out of their way for you like a dirty overcoat. I don't know what the fuck that means. But anyway. Hey, dude, I'm pretty like, I don't know. I can be aggressive and NGL on the NGL.
Not gonna lie.
Oh, not gonna lie. On the Sevan depart with Pedro the other day, he sounded like he needed punching. Pedro, where are you? Brian, I'm in Nashville. But his tone said, "You're a fucking moron, you dipshit. And if someone welcomes me back into the fold, you fucking tried to torch the fold when you ran out." So, what the fuck is going on? You got to call my wife, dude. And at least have her check on me.
I'm gonna call her right now.
Just be like, "Yo, Haley, what the fuck was that one?"
I don't know. This is why sentence structure means so much. Here, I'll call her right now.
You think she'll answer?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Dude, don't scare her. Let's see.
What if she answers me? That'd be fucking.
Gotta turn it up full blast.
It is. Can you hear that?
I just drank some TDC oil. You think my shit got just slippery? Like
Yeah.
Hello, users.
Damn, nice try.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been. Hold on. I'm gonna try to read that one again. I don't even have that one. Isn't that interesting?
It's hidden. You have to go to the very bottom of the comments. It's one of the hidden ones.
Oh, I don't even have hidden ones.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. Not gonna lie, on the Sevan depart with Pedro. When did I depart with Pedro? The other day, he sounded like he needed punching. Who needed punching? Me or Pedro?
Maybe he's talking about the question on Around the Whiteboard when they asked about if Sevan's good for CrossFit.
And then there's where are you, Brian? I'm in
asked-
Nashville. But his tone said, "You're a fucking moron, you dipshit." And if Sevan welcomes me back into the fold, you fucking tried to torch the fold when you ran out. Oh, okay. What do you mean? Well, I didn't. It's not. It's
debate. Oh, okay. There we go. Tyler just said debate, not depart. That makes sense.
no. Oh, thank you. Debate. Oh, debate. Oh, thank you. I hate it for the fact I'm dumb. Where's the word debate?
It's
Can you
this
point to it with your arrow?
in the very.
If Sevan welcomes me. Not gonna lie, on the Sevan debate with Pedro. Oh, the other day he sounded like he needed punching. Oh.
Pedro asked, "Where are you?" Brian said, "I'm in Nashville. Go fuck yourself." Obviously. Duh. Idiot. Where else would I be? Dubai? That's the tone. I mean, that's always his tone. It's a miracle anybody wants to work with him.
I love when we go high school drama on the show. Here's the thing. Brian said he had no choice. He was like financially strapped and had to make decisions and yeah, I'm cool as fuck and nice as fuck and generous as fuck, and that's it. That's all I got. But that's all. Just trying to just kind of winging it, and was hoping other people would wing it. How about Athena and Hiller splitting? How about it?
Crazy.
I like it. It's like it reminds me of like the cuts at the games. It just adds like more fun to the story. You know what I mean? Now what happens? What's Athena do now? Does she continue on the path? Does she find another coach?
Does she gain all the way back?
Yeah. Does she lose weight twice as fast now that she's heartbroken? This buddy of mine at CrossFit, him and his wife divorced. He's a 200-pound guy. He's a 200-pound guy with a six-pack. He went down to 155.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was fucking scary. It was a little scary. I mean, I had to say something to him.
Is he on meth or something? That's insane.
No, it just you've ever been so emotionally hurt you stop eating?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
done that.
You know what I mean? Someone dies and you're like, fuck it, and you're just done. You
Yeah.
can't be bothered.
I get that. Damn, that's crazy. That's what you got to do, though. Go through a crazy breakup, lose a bunch of weight, get shredded, be better.
There's this podcast, for those of you who don't know, there's a guy called it's kind of fun, right? When you're depressed and you stop eating, there's kind of an enjoyment in it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like a control thing.
I could get that for sure.
There's a guy in the space called Jason CF Media. I should show his. Let me see if I can.
I'm depressed and heartbroken, but I look good. Yeah, that's the point. See? Depressed, heartbroken, you look good.
Yeah. One of the nicest my body's ever looked in my life is I had food poisoning.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was just vomiting for 2 days. On and off. And I was like, fuck, I would just look in the mirror and be like, fuck, I look good. That's what I mean. Like, that's why it's so hard for me. Like when other people are like, I have an eating disorder or dysmorphia, like, yeah, who the fuck doesn't? I was enjoying being okay. So this podcast, Brian was on this, and like at the 30-minute mark, the shit starts to get squirrely. With all this talk about, I'm reading one of the comments. With all this talk about specialness of CrossFit community, disturbing to see the dog eat dog approach to podcasters. Sevon, coffee, pods and wads, barbell spin, etc. Good job. I'm liking the balanced perspective. Doggy dog. I don't know if I'm a doggy dog. Nice to have a different take on CrossFit talk since the Sevon bunch and their slur is getting so blown up on their own shit, it's becoming unbearable to witness. Will follow for more like this. Oh, this is the guy that only writes negative comments in my
It's a regular.
feed. Yeah. This guy's addicted to this guy Jensen Tester. He never actually says anything. He's just a complete I called him mentally ill because all he does is complain, and he got all bent out of shape. Hey, I watch your show every day, and just because I have a different opinion than you call me mentally ill. Dude, you don't have an opinion. You don't actually say anything. Taylor versus the World was great. Yeah, thank you. Look at even Chris Beesterfield writes, what? Like, yeah, like what the fuck? Yeah,
Haley's
like
calling you back.
Oh, okay. Let's hear.
Hey.
Hey.
Sevon's he's acting a little weird today. He's can't put string of sentences together or anything. You might have to go check on him.
I was worried, like, is something wrong? Is this a joke?
No, not at all. Like he couldn't read a comment on the show today. He was really struggling.
Caleb, come on, don't do this to me. I was listening to the show. He was fine.
Yeah, you didn't see that comment that he read? He was really having a hard time with it.
I mean, I stopped listening. I was listening to it in the beginning. I didn't see what you're talking about.
Teller denials the first stage of when someone you love is
I
hurt.
wonder what the comment was.
Oh, she's coming. She's coming to the room to check on me.
Oh God. Okay. I'm sorry. I can't help it. He looks rough.
Caleb, he's dead.
Oh man. I need to call an ambulance.
Oh my God. Tell your wife
You
to
do
come.
love me. Okay, pass. Thank you, Caleb, for doing the love test. Guys, I thought my wife didn't love me anymore.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Haley.
Good one. Anytime.
Bye.
Thanks. All right, bye.
You do love me. Holy shit.
Dude, she's like, I see her talking to you on your phone, like looking in my window of my podcast studio. What the fuck's going on in there? That's great.
Don't do this to me.
Yeah, she resuscitated me by giving me a standee. Emergency standee.
Oh, God. I'm a horrible liar. I'm sorry. That's so
That's
good.
pretty good. No, she deserves that. She told me one time on April Fool's that we got to do an April Fool's joke on her, dude.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Yeah. Brian, sorry. I'm continuing on. Let's see. Brian was always the best part of the Sevon show. I now only very carefully listen to Sevon. Very carefully. Hey, dude, when I listen to the Sevon podcast, I put on a helmet just in case. He might say something that causes me to hurt myself. Brian was always the best part of the Sevon show. Now I only very carefully listen to Sevon. Drop in only when I think it's going to stick to CrossFit. Dude, listen, you can't ever think that. You better just play it safe. And if you're listening to the show, put on like safety gloves and shit. welders. Huh? Otherwise, the uninformed, drama-seeking political talk is horrible. Realized quite recently that he is a literal idiot about governance, seems to buy drip down economics. When he started to talk about taxes with Taylor, looking forward to around the leaderboard on Be Friendly Fitness tonight. Oh, thank you for clarifying. Drip down economics is trickle down economics. Huh, I see. All right.
Very intellectual comments in that section.
Anyway. Well, I don't know. It's fine. I got to go. I'm taking the kids skateboarding. Surprise, surprise. Look I didn't finish this show with. Did you think that you could? I guess you could categorize this as a kind of a lazy, unhinged rant. We had the guest. Bam, we're live. We had the guest. I guess I could stay on until I have to pee. Oh. Did you see Suze's comment?
Yeah. I almost texted her after I couldn't pick up the first time and say like, "Hey, just kidding. That was like we're just joking." I'm glad I didn't because that.
No, I'm glad you stuck with it. That's fucking good. All right, love you guys. I do plan on starting the news shows up again. Just a slow news cycle. Okay. Anything? Do we have any other shows today?
I don't think so. It's Wednesday.
Oh, Russell Berger comes on tomorrow. You should definitely wear a helmet if Russell's coming on. We're definitely not talking much CrossFit shit tomorrow. And then on Friday, Fee Sagafi, the most likable person in CrossFit. And then Saturday, Matt Schindeldecker. Oh, that's gonna be cool to get Matt back on. Matt's the guy who owns I want to say CrossFit Crave or something, a couple gyms, and he has that big fucking program on the launch pad, successful program, helping juvenile delinquents. Kids have been arrested instead of going to jail, they do CrossFit.
Incredible.
And then Monday we have affiliate series. And then Greg on the next Wednesday. Oh, then we have Bryant from CrossFit Oahu. We're going to have Jack De La Maddalena on soon, too. I got a bunch of cool people coming up, non-CrossFit people. When is Matuthian going to be available at Costco? 8 tubs for $6.99.
Right next to the mush.
Right after Crest buys it from me for 10 mil. 10 bill. All right. Oh, Mr. Spin tonight. Does he have a show tonight? Let's see.
Oh yeah, I think he does Wednesday nights. That's his show.
I put barbell spoon in. Hey, I'm pretty impressed with Zach Talander pivoting to music.
Really?
What if I pivoted to something?
What are you gonna pivot to?
I don't know. What if instead of like doing a podcast, I just sung? I know. I texted Alex. I told him to quit being a fucking vegan. Okay, we can get him on. I guess you get him on with Zoe Harcombe. Okay. The Barbell Spin has a show. No, I don't see their show scheduled.
I don't see one either. They might not be doing one.
Jesus Christ. Come on, Spinny. I wonder if he's okay. He's always organized. Why do girls stick their tongues out for photos? Why do girls do that?
I don't know.
So it is Tyler, John, and Spin. They are on tonight. Oh, you know what? Someone told me that Josh Purritt, the guy from Fluffy Duck, had a black square, and like, how could I be friends with him? I'm like, hey, dude, I'm not gonna go around hating people. And then I fucking looked through his account and I didn't see a black square. And then I reached out to him like, hey, motherfucker, did you plant a black square? And he's like, no. It's like, he's like, I'm crazy vocal. I hate that woke shit.
You interrogated him about it?
Yeah, he knew I was just fucking with him though. He's like, I hate that shit where people are fucking being racist, pretending like they're not racist in the name of not being racist. I was like, oh, you're one of my people. I apologize. He's like, all good, dude.
We are same.
So I want to correct the record on that. Fluffy Duck. Some guy tried to. So Fluffy Duck did not do a black square. I did not get fired by Greg, and Brian left me for the Lone Ranger. The end. And it's all good. Everything's good in the universe. He can't. Zach Talander needs to just apologize about his horrible take on GG and admit he's wrong. He can't because he's like surrounded by haters, dude. You have to remember, he's surrounded by haters. Like he has some really fucking. He's surrounded by haters. Pick your friends wisely. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye bye.